that I can get a website done for $150.
Mm.
I just built my influencerspotlight.com website. I don't know if you saw it. That website cost me $150. I just finished it today.
Influencer, what's it called?
Spotlight.
Is that the website, influencerspotlight.com?
Yeah.
Let me check it out.
I can refer you to this particular person if you want. This guy is pretty good.
Yes, because I mean, now, is there an issue with? I mean, I don't know if you speak other languages, but what about English?
So they're not going to be fluent in English by any means. But I mean, I'll tell you that I don't really speak with majority of them in Bengali. I mean, I've spoken to maybe like a handful of people in my native tongue before, but almost 95% of VAs I've worked with before, I've spoken English to them. Their English is going to be broken, but I mean, I can understand it. I use a lot of context clues, and me coming from a different background and different English not being my first language, I can figure out what they're trying to mean majority of the time. And if I can't, then I will ask them until I can figure it out. I will tell you that majority of VAs can speak English because it's a language of the internet. They can at least type English. They may not be fluent in speaking, but they can definitely type. And if you pay $3 or more, typically you can get a Filipino VA, and they're perfectly, their English is great.
Right, I've heard about the Filipino VAs, and how the success people have had with them. So you said influencer spotlight.com. Check it out. And is there someone in particular that you have on there that? Let's see. Okay, cool. Very cool.
He didn't do the branding, but he did the design and everything.
Say that again?
The branding, different friend of mine did, like the logo, the everything else. The logo, mainly just the logo and the colors, the color scheme. Yeah, the brand colors were done by a friend of mine, but everything else is his work.
Nice, man. It looks good.
Yeah.
Good. Now with the like writing partners and things of that nature, is that are those just fill-ins, or are they the actual writing partners? They're the picks.
They are kind of both. So when I started this company, I actually had two business partners, Tyler and Jared. They eventually ended up not being so interested because they have like so many other companies that they're running too. So they actually ended up dropping, but I still kept them anyway just because they're my friends. And the girls at the bottom are the girlfriends of some of my friends, and then one of them is a friend, I think. Guntaka Reddy, that guy that says writing partner, that is my 6th VA that I've had for 6 years.
Already. Okay. Yeah. Nice, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the site looks really good.
Thanks.
The logo, the influencer, did you just have someone do that?
So how we did that is we looked at our competitors' logo, and we kind of just took theirs and just made our spin on it.
Nice.
The cursive looking one at the top.
Yeah, that looks great.
The purple. Yeah. The IS logo. Sorry?
Who's your competitor?
The competing company was Influencer Press. So I'm pretty notorious for basically anytime I want to do anything, I don't do anything from scratch. I just find someone that's doing it successfully, and I put my own twist to their stuff every time.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I did with this too.
I love it. I can tell by your emails and even the stuff you were sending me, because I have a fair amount of experience in sales, marketing, it's different things. But I can tell you know what you're doing, and I like that. So
I try to stay really lean with this stuff, basically, like try to get something out as quickly as I can, and then tweak, optimize, and stuff like that.
Totally.
That's kind of like my approach. Okay. But yeah.
Well, awesome, man. So yeah, and I saw some of the examples that you had with I don't remember which with some of the examples that you had on that Google Doc where you had some like the testimonials of, okay, we got this person to number one, we got this person, and so forth. Like on my name in particular, I think I'm already number one on there, but I would prefer an article from, or articles from different, reputable places like your site, some other places, and then like professionally, because I've got like I know my name comes up first for my name, but I want it to be different things. Like for example, on yours, you have, I believe you had like net worth, you had Wikipedia, you had at least a handful of different other things, and you mentioned that it would take some time to build those.
So that actually that happens from social following. If you have a ginormous following on social and you present yourself in a way where people think that you're like these are the things that you're kind of people are trying to search about you. When enough searches of that happens, Google starts showing that as a suggestion, right? Like there's a lot of people that are searching particularly for my name plus that keyword. So you can do one of two things there. You can start putting those kind of keywords in your resumes and your pitches and stuff like that, to where you say, hey, if you don't believe me, Google Nate Hopson, entrepreneur, Nate Hopson this or that, and make enough people Google it, then Google will start showing that as a suggestion. Or you can just present yourself for those things and make yourself known for those type of keywords, so people will go and search you for that. And that's kind of how that happens. So most people that I'm connected to know that I write for Forbes and Huffington Post and these kind of places. So they try to find my profile, so they go and search that.
Nice. Okay, good.
Or some people don't believe it, so they want to prove, find out for themselves. So then they go and Google it, and then they get curious. So because a lot of people, like see me or my Facebook, or I'm pitching them something or whatever, and they're like, who is this guy? Maybe he's fake, like whatever reason, they just go and try to start searching you. And that's when those things start showing up. Whatever you put on your profile, people will go and search it in Google, basically.
Nice. So what you said, whatever you put on what?
In your profile, like for example, if on Facebook you put Nate Hopson, singer, people will go to Google and type in Nate Hopson singer and see what shows up. If it piques their interest.
All right. Now, how did you end up linking up with Neil Patel? Was that just you just reached out to him, or how did you end up linking that up? Since he's a hitter in the space.
Yeah, how I did that is let me think. Okay, so I have this other guy that I was following at the time named Jeet Banerjee. I actually later became business partners with him. Brian met him too. So I used to follow Jeet on YouTube, just kind of like seeing his interviews and stuff like that. And there was a time when Jeet interviewed Neil. That's the first time I ever saw him. So then I started getting curious, who is this guy Neil Patel? Because he does all this marketing. This is when I was just getting into marketing, like 6-7 years ago, basically almost. So I started following him on YouTube. And then I started reaching, seeing what else does he have on social. So I started Googling him and stuff like that. Eventually learned about him and found out that he was super successful. So then I just emailed him one day and I said, hey, my name is such and such. I've been following you, so and so, blah, blah, blah. I have this startup called My Campus Hacks. Would you mind taking a look and just kind of giving me your feedback on this idea? And he gave me his idea feedback. And then I again later emailed him about something else. And then I also built it up. I watched his video. I have watched hundreds and hundreds of videos of him, interview videos, where he talks about how to reach out to influencers and how he does stuff. So I took those same tactics that he basically said and I deployed them on him. I kept saying how I love his column on Entrepreneur Magazine, how I love this video of his, so I would send them periodic emails like that. And once I gotten him to like me enough, then I also wrote about him and I sent him that too. Then I reached out to him and said, hey man, I would love to interview you because I think you're blah, blah, blah. And I've been following your stuff for a long time. And so that's kind of how I build that relationship. You can just build relationships just like that with anybody almost. Most people, think about it. Most influencers, what happens is people reach out to them one time asking for something and they never hear from them again. Right? So if you can be that one person that doesn't do that and stays persistent, it's just like going after a girl. Same thing, right? You just want to have to keep being persistent with it. And, I mean, unless they straight up tell you, hey, I don't, just leave me alone, which they shouldn't unless you're just bugging them all the time. If you providing them value, make them feel like they're important, tell them how much you enjoy their work, over time, you will for sure build a personal relationship with them. And then that's how you can kind of start leveraging that at that point and get them to invest in you. That's like exactly what I did with him.
Learned from him, like meaning, like as far as his system, like the different ways he's making money or monetizing what he does. Did you take any of those tactics and utilize them yourself, or
yeah, dude? If all of my websites are modeled after his sites, if you go to rafichadri.com, chadrisdigital.com, you'll see that they are mimicking QuickSprout and neilpatel.com.
Nice, man.
Well, he's changed his website since then, but they used to look very similar.
Okay, great, great. Like for you in particular, what's your next goal? Like, what do you want to accomplish? Like, because I know you got the follower network, you've got different things going on. I mean, is there something that you really want to? Is it the coaching that you really want to monetize next, or is it what's your next goal? Or
definitely the coaching, because I've been doing PR. I think I told you, and PR is it's fun. It was great, but PR is very, very hard to achieve. There's always this. It just so happens there just happens to be a lot of a disconnect between reality, expectations and reality. The reality is that we really can't do a whole lot, because unless you're a contributor to a publication, it's just like, yes, I can get somebody mentioned, but people just sometimes don't find that enough. They want like this full featured article about them and all this stuff. And that's just realistically not possible unless you're literally doing crazy things and you're already famous and popular. Most people aren't that. So for me to try to present them as such is very difficult a lot of times. But with that being said, I do think that I have a skill set that very few in the world and the internet at least have, which is writing for big name publications, knowing how to pitch them, knowing how to build relationships with these kind of, editors and journalists, and doing PR by building relationships. The whole idea of building a brand and a following from like, being transparent on the internet and just using your personal brand. So I'm basically putting all of that together into the course, which is almost about to launch. I gave you like a splash page where I have some of the basic ideas written down. Excuse me. But once this thing launches, I'm going to do this full time and just start coaching this one-on-one with people.
You're going to mainly do just phone calls and Skype, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, starting out, it's going to be just like, so obviously I have course materials. So I'm putting together a new video every day on all these types of things that I've kind of done over the past few years in the PR space. And then there's going to be, I'm going to take all of my templates, email templates, and, different templates that I've used for outreaches and stuff like that, put it all together in folders. I'm going to take all of my PR contacts, which that I made over the years, give that away, which I've already done, really. And then the rest will be just coaching one-on-one on their particular thing they're trying to achieve. Because people have different types of, not everybody's looking for the same thing. Like some people don't even care to write for ink. They don't really care, They just want to learn how to get a large following on, Twitter.
Right.
So then I'll coach that person only on how to do that. But overall, the course will be geared towards PR, how to do PR for yourself, how to run a PR agency, because that's kind of what I did for the last year and almost 2 years now, and how to build your personal brand. It's just those three things loosely combined together in the course.
Yeah. And are you marketing to entrepreneurs or
like
bloggers?
I'm marketing to bloggers. I'm marketing to entrepreneurs. I'm marketing also to coaches, consultants, and public speakers.
Nice. Now, are you just going to use your channels, like the stuff that you already built up, or are you going to actually do like run Facebook ads or?
Yeah. So this funnel, once it launches, I'm already running. Brian is running my Facebook ads, in fact. And so yeah, that's how I plan on getting traffic, and then also maybe do some display network advertising as well to try to really get that, like tier one type of population of people that are like big name coaches and speakers and stuff like that. Kind of almost like yourself, in fact, that are already out there, that are kind of already building a name for themselves in different avenues, but they want to add ton more credibility by saying that they write for Forbes, they write for Inc., or they've been featured in this or that, and they have the money to actually be able to afford, because it's worth it for them.
Yes.
Because everybody wants to achieve these things. I mean, who's gonna say, "Oh no, I don't want to be featured in Entrepreneur Magazine"? But the thing is that a lot of people, it's not a priority for them, and two, more importantly, they can't afford it. Because for me to really go into the depths of teaching this, because as much as I want to teach these in videos and stuff like that, there still has to be a one-on-one type of approach towards it, I think, to some degree at least. As much as I want to be able to do that, it's not like, it's time consuming, because it's my actual time that I have to spend on the phone and tweaking their work and seeing over it. So I'm gonna try to go for people that can actually pay for that. If somebody's paying me like $500 for it, I mean, it's really not worth. I just can't afford to do that. If somebody has a good solid, 1,000, 2,000 a month, they're serious about it. It is significantly beneficial to their business to be able to say that they have done these things. That population exactly is who I'm trying to get in front of, because I know for a fact a speaker out there that's generating $30,000, $40,000 a speaking gig, I promise you, man, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month for them to get that kind of credibility is nothing. They're gonna do it in a heartbeat, because it's gonna literally make them another 30,000, because they're now gonna get a gig that they would have otherwise never even dreamed of getting. It's a huge thing to add to their one sheet.
Right. Now with your you said you sold other things before. I mean, obviously you're in the space. What is your expected result once you do launch this? What do you expect the results to be? Because I know, like, once you do get results, then you can find out your number goals that you need to hit, and then you can scale. You basically add money, get more sales type of thing. What do you expect out of it when you first launch? I know it's kind of hard to guess that, but I think you've done enough selling online to be able to estimate that how many clients you're going to possibly be able to get right off the bat.
Yeah. So
what do you expect?
As far as client results, I've already kind of been doing that. I just never made it into an official thing. I have plenty of people that I worked with, and I helped them get into different publications, made introductions for them, and all this kind of stuff. Nate, can you hold for 1 second? I'm getting this.
Yeah, sure.
1 second.
Sure.
This is Rafi.
Hi, this is Rafi.
This is he.
Hi there, this is Sean from Technology Insights on behalf of Site Software. Is it a good time to talk for a minute?
No, it's not a good time. Are you pitching something, or what? What do you need me for?
No, I'm not pitching anything. Actually, what was the
What? Hello, Nate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a sales call. As soon as I asked, "Are you pitching something?" he just hung up. He already knew I wasn't gonna listen. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, what I was gonna say is as far as client results, yeah, I already have a lot of the testimonials and stuff. I already put all that in there, and I just emailed you my work in progress on the course splash page.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
Thanks, man. So the actual result as far as sales, it's hard to predict. I mean, Brian says that what you're teaching is definitely a second seven-figure business, because it's so hard to like get that kind of experience, and like very few people. Everybody out there are some certain skills that a lot of people have. Lead gen, Facebook ads, this or that. But there aren't that many people that have this particular type of experience. It is kind of a unique thing, but there is a huge demand. So you could say that I'm launching a product that's very low competition but high in demand.
Right.
And so given that, it really comes down to how do I market it? Am I getting in front of the right audience? With the right audience, definitely so. There's no doubt. But wrong audience, no way, because they're not gonna be able to afford it.
Right. So you're basically gonna be finding the right audience via Facebook ads, seeing who responds, and you can kind of niche down and target those people more precisely.
Yes. So one of the things I was thinking about is going to the publications, like Forbes and Inc. and these kind of places, and doing display ads saying, "How would you like to write for this publication? Shoot me a message," and funnel them to my funnel. Because somebody who's reading that, and literally there is one guy. He's so happy that I helped him. His literally dream in life since he was like freaking 10 years old is to write for Entrepreneur Magazine. So when he found out that I used to have, I don't anymore, unfortunately, I used to have an author account there. When he found that out, he was like, he bought everything from me just so I would teach him how to do that. He literally bought like 10 different things from me. That's not, he probably doesn't even need. So then I was like, you know what? I'll help you, man. I'll just write the article for you and pitch it. So I helped him, and I hope it gets in because I took my time and really write a good pitch for him. But there are some people out there that, because you know, like it's like one of those things. Money can't just buy you this. You couldn't just pay somebody 100,000 and buy yourself a contributor account somewhere. Do you see what I'm saying? It's really hard to do that. So I'm trying to teach them, like, think about the psychology behind it. Think about how do you need to structure your pitch. Think about how you need to come up with a story that's actually going to sell. Think about how you need to build that relationship, because you can't just go up to an editor and say, hey, I got a pitch here, you know, publish this. You have to build that up over time to where you do go to make a pitch. It's like, yeah, man, you're my friend. Why wouldn't I do this for you type of situation. That's kind of what I'm teaching. It's so much more than just how to do this, but it's more like I'm teaching them the psychology behind building relationships on the internet, almost, you could say.
Nice.
So that's kind of the good part of it. Yeah. So when I put these start putting a lot of this stuff in video formats and stuff like that, I think it'll make a lot more sense. Like, because right now it's just kind of in my head and I can do a phone call and kind of explain it. But once it's recorded and structured, I can personally say that I would find value in it. Like I would pay the $1,000 to buy it.
Right. And are you using VAs for a lot of this, or is it you just piecing it all together yourself?
So my VAs, you know, how I do content with them is kind of like this. I come up with the strategies, anything that I learn new that I think is valuable, and I give them an outline, or I get them on a call just like this and I explain it to them. Hey, this is how I do this. And here's a kind of like a general outline. Here are some other helpful articles and videos that you can reference. Can you put together an article for me, or can you put together a PowerPoint presentation so I can go ahead and teach it in a video? That's kind of how they do that. They do a lot of the research and actual fleshing out of the ideas. I usually give them a topic and I give them an outline. And I give them the actual tactics of like how this is done.
That's cool, man. Like when you have an article written, let's say a 1,000 word article, how much would you pay a VA for that?
I would say it just depends. Like most writers for 1,000 words will probably charge you like $20-$30 maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
all
man.
right, right on, brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hate to cut our conversation short, but I gotta get another call. That's at 3:30. I'm kind of late for it. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. You can email me. But but let's touch base from there, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it, brother. I'll send the payment through PayPal today.
Okay, and then just send me a list of things that you're looking to really cover.
All right.
Good deal, man. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Good talking to you.
You too. Bye.